Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being with us. You know, it's quite early.
So now, let's just dive in. We all, we heard the pitch yesterday. It's about matching productions with actors around the world and really helping bring together that supply and demand in a market that is quite fragmented and has some challenges. Let's start by just doing a bit of a recap, and then we want to talk about what have been the challenges in getting from zero to where you are today. So what's the quick recap on what the business does, and why does it, why are you trying, what's the problem you're really trying to solve?
Okay, so first of all, I started this business for myself. I was solving my own problem. I've been a manager working with actors, and it's been a challenge for me to put the actors to, big Hollywood productions to actually make, money for myself. And I just started realizing, like, if it's challenging for me, I've been professional, manager, how difficult it is for actors who don't have representation. So I started digging into the problem, and I just realized there are 4 million actors in the world and only 20,000 agents and managers. So even if, like, every manager represented, 100 people, which is actually impossible, because it's like, babysitting, right? So how many kids you can have, like, effectively, like 5, 10, to give them attention. So let's say you're, like, very effective and you're, like, representing 100 clients. It still gives 90% of actors in the world who are underrepresented, meaning they're invisible for the market and nobody can hire them. And I just decided, to create the platform where the actor who don't have representation can get access to the jobs. And it all comes together with the concept of diversity and equal opportunities for the job access. And actually the academy, I don't know, God, listening to me or something. So the Academy came up with the new rules, like back in 2020, that by 2024, every movie that planning to go for the best feature has to have at least 30% of their cast diverse, which meaning has to be actors from 4 underrepresented groups, is either women, LGBTQ+, ethnic and race minorities, and also disabled people. And you know what? The problem is that all global talent agencies like CAWME, they mostly represent beautiful white people with white teeth. So everybody have this huge challenge of, like, where we now find these underrepresented actors, which was like our core, and we actually having it as our huge advantage. So I would recommend to everybody, if you're not focusing underrepresented people, consider it for your marketplaces. You probably will get upset.
Let me understand this a bit more. So this is a regulation, a requirement, or a direction? Is it? And how do they enforce this requirement for diversity?
So, I mean, the Academy, it's the organization that runs the Oscars, right? So they having their own rules, which been, there for years. So they just, posted on their website, like, new rules. So if you guys want to be considered for the best feature, this is our new requirement, which is like 30%, at least one actor in significant role also needs to be in the minority, and the story needs to be around, underrepresented groups.
It does lead to an interesting sort of outcome where many of your films that you could have made would not be made.
Yeah.
Right, and do you end up then sort of getting more vanilla in the films that are getting made? Because you're trying to tick all the boxes along the way.
Look, I agree with you that, this is a creative process, right? You can't force people to write about a certain point. But I just think, like, on the market, we are all kind of about the diverse, about, global, being ourselves. And I think even though if it's like gay, or any other disability, any other disadvantages, like, we all having the same challenges. So by the end of the day, it will be the same story, which will be appealing to you and me. Even, we are not disabled, but we're probably disabled in something else.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So given, this creates opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, and then you've said, well, I'm going to build a marketplace. I'm going to aggregate supply and demand. Let's sort of think about that for a little bit because I think it raises some interesting questions. I think you said yesterday it's like 108,000.
108,000.
108,000 sort of actors on the platform. How do you get hold of their information, and how do you then get the various data points about each person? Because if you're going to start, if I require someone of a certain ethnicity in a location, with a certain maybe has to speak a certain language or whatever, how do I find that person through 108,000 people?
That's a great question. You're actually straight to the point. There are only 5 criteria that the casting director are looking for, which is the first is the location. So the reason also we started to build in marketplace because the studio were massively relocating out of the United States for the economic reason. So first they're looking for the great talented actors which meet their quality criteria, let's say, in a certain location, which is the first thing. Then the second thing is the languages. The third thing is the citizenship, so they need to understand about tax situation and so on. Accents and then height, because by looking up the pictures you kind of can understand the physique, but you don't know how tall the person is. So there are just 5 criteria here. They just running through the filters and put the significant points that are important for them. So this is answering your second question. Answering the first question, how we source the actors and how we aggregate the demand. It's source supply. There is no problem, to source for actors because they're constantly looking for, opportunities. Because unfortunately, there are 10 times more actors in the world than jobs. So we don't have any problem with marketing. We came up with our own, viral. Wiki, which generates us enormous amount of actors, and they just reposting and inviting friends in order to be considered for the winners of the challenge or get the feedback from the casting directors. So we don't have any problem with actors.
Now, if I think of it may sound not quite nice, but an actor and a car and a house are all basically fundamentally a listing, okay, just with different attributes. How do you think about the attributes, and the only difference is that a house and a car doesn't self-generate its content. Although, as Sylvan said yesterday, they're pretty much just self-generating through their technology. But an actor has the capacity to upload their resume. How much of that is written? How much of that's just a tape of some sort? How do they get to promote themselves?
The only thing that matters in our marketplace is their talent, which can be seen by photo or video. We don't really promote actors through their resume because the number one thing, which is already said, the most important thing for us to give everybody the equal opportunities, which mean really equal opportunity. So everybody have 5 things to post, which is either 5 photos or 3 photos, 2 videos, or 4 videos, 1 photo. Some 5 things, you decide what you post. We just found out during our journey that resume or CV or the track of the jobs you did previously, this is something that comes to the equation very far along the casting process, something very close to the final decision. So to get your foot in the room, to get the self-tape request to do the video, you just need basically 1 photo, which is you can post in our platform for free.
Okay. So, and who pays? So the actor pays?
So initially, our business model is a transaction-based, so it's like Airbnb. So you see actors instead of apartments. You see the guy or girl you like, or they you like. Then you check the availability. If they're available for your dates, then there is a booking. The casting director or the filmmaker provide the amount of money they're supposed to pay for an actor. Then our transaction fee will be different from the check, and they see the total. So they pay the total amount. There are also other opportunities for the monetization. It's like a licensing fee from the studios, because we have a software element between checking availability and the booking. So basically the casting process, sending the text and getting the video back, giving some analytics. So the studios can pay for this. And also there is an opportunity for actors to get, enhanced, services. So for example, if they want to upload more videos or more information there, they can pay premium. But we do not limit actors from getting jobs. It doesn't matter if they have free or paid accounts. So they can easily get the audition request just with one photo.
So you're basically clipping the tick on the transaction. How is there a booking fee paid online in your system? Credit card based? Yeah.
So we are focusing on it right now. So I would say we just pivoted, which is another topic, which all founders are concerned about, constant changing. So till today, we were more working as a digitalized agency, as my ex-investors, previous investors love to say. So all the transactions were made offline. So right now, we really doing the whole process automated. So what we doing right now, we are building this booking opportunity through the website, and we will give the opportunity for the studios connect their corporate card. So we charge at least a few thousand upfront. So it will give us the opportunity to accumulate, money on our accounts, so actually to pay faster for actors for their job. So we are working on it, but yes, payments is one of the things. We're thinking that first they're paying upfront fee, and when the job is done, we just do the ACH or like the full amount.
Okay, so you talked about pivoting, which means that you've learned a lot of lessons along the way. Let's dive into that, because I'm interested in understanding. It's often, people get up, they talk about how wonderful the business is, and everything seems beautiful and rosy, and nothing's gone wrong. But
not in our case. I sold my apartment to start.
But what we all learn in this whole journey is that there are a lot of things that go wrong, and it's learning those lessons. And I think Frederick yesterday sort of referenced, the ups and the downs in this. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned, and why have you had to pivot along the way?
So first of all, I've been young and naive, first time female solo entrepreneur. So I was thinking, we will just charge a subscription and it's gonna fly. It didn't fly. So we actually got our first concept presentation at a high-profile event. It's been Cannes Film Festival, and because we made so much buzz around the project, we actually were able to collect a lot of money during the Cannes Film Festival, which technically you can call it crowdfunding. And I thought, okay, people were ready to kind of prepay their subscription for the future use of the service, and let it be. Then what happened? The COVID happened. So all the actor has 0 jobs, how they could pay. Then, okay, we start thinking, okay, who has money? Studios has money. Okay, let's start, transaction model. We made everything absolutely free for actors. Still, the guys who wanted to pay, they could pay, but we didn't limit them anyhow. And then with the transaction fee, we start getting jobs. We start getting, we start playing with the amount of the commission. So the higher the check, the smaller the transaction fee, to actually encourage people to use it. And then finally, I start getting the feedback from the studios and actors like, look, you're doing the great thing, you should charge more. And they're like, what if we just combine the models, right? So when it's success, we charge transaction, but there are also parts of the service which really, brings the value for the users. So we can also charge subscription or licensing fee if we give studios license our software. So they basically can buy, 100 seats a year, which is, 5 casting director. Every casting director have 5 assistants. They hire another casting director, which is already 20 people, all of them working with a director's producer, which altogether, I don't know, 40 people just for one project. Let's say 100 seats a year. It can easily be $1 million a year just with this, seats using the software. So the lessons I learned is like, it's important that you solve the real problem, and which is also not only in your head, but it's also the problem of other people, thousands or millions of other people. This is the most important thing, because otherwise we unfortunately become, blindfolded by like, oh, we are so desperate, like I want to solve this problem, but does people really need this? So I would say, find it like the real problem first, and the second is like resilience, and you need to become your own source of energy, because you go through enormous amount of rejections along the way. Like even yesterday, I didn't win the thing, but
Sorry.
It's absolutely
Blame the
fine.
judges. Blame the judges.
But the Greg came to me and said, like, look, I thought you're gonna win. You did great. And what we get in here through the process, we're building connection, and we are here to find our people, the investors who are the same passionate about the projects we do. And obviously this is not for everybody. It's like it's your dating partner, or like the person you marry. You can't be with everybody. So this resilience and positive vibe, I would say, is the crucial thing. And then pivoting, all the time, today we're at Web 3.0, and we need to come up with something else. Otherwise, we get out of the business. So just, constant change and flexibility, and just have fun along the way.
Now, you mentioned before something about your ex-investors.
Previous, I meant, where they're still investors.
Oh, okay, right. So
I
I was going to say that must be an interesting story there. But you also mentioned you sold your house.
Oh yeah, I sold my apartment to start, because I just been raised. I don't know, maybe I'm conservative or old school. I've been raised and educated the way that you first need to check it yourself. You can't just bullshit people. Like if you get somebody's money, you have to offer something. You have to commit to something. I can't just get the money and say goodbye. I'm gonna try and vanish. So that's why, I really believed in what I was building. I first checked with the industry professionals. So the first person I was checking my hypothesis back then, it was the president of the Casting Society of America. So I basically came to him and said, look, let's pretend you haven't like a mobile app when you can book any actor in the world. Would you use this? He was like, oh, Dasha, you have very good imagination. Ha ha ha, so funny. It's impossible. I said, okay, imagine it's possible. You have it in your hand. Would you use this? He said, of course. We now having all our production relocated worldwide. We don't have access to certain markets. So yes, you become a billionaire. I said, I like the answer. So I started building it from the zero. Funny enough, in last year, in 2020, Arto Awards in Beverly Hills Hotel, we bumped into each other and said, oh, hey, I didn't see you like for a long time. How's it going? And I said, like, do you remember I was pitching you like the app? He said, yeah, how is it going? He thought that it's disappeared. And I just showed him the app in the phone. He was like, oh my God, what happened? And, fun fact that a month ago, the actor who got the most auditions through our service, he actually a guy from Ukraine who made it from absolute nowhere, who just relocated from Ukraine to United States and got the leading role in Universal. He got approached by that exact casting director, who were discovered by another casting director in Europe and referred back to that guy. So everything, just circled back and, connected. So the reason I sold my apartment, because I checked with the people I trust that what I was about to do makes sense. But I don't recommend anyone to sell their apartment to start a startup.
Bruce, can we bring up the questions, please? Thank you. Isn't it very easy for the the studios to cut you out of the process once they've
Let them
found an actor?
try. Let them try, you know. So the thing is, first of all, we don't post the private information about the actors. There are no last names. So, I mean, you can get creative and, you know, start posting, you know, through the search engine and try to find the actor through the photo and, like, yes, potentially. But the thing is, studios are not interested in cutting agents and managers because actors are not the people who are doing business. They're creative people. Most of the times they do not know how much to charge. They do not know how to build a contract, how to deal with the visa situation and so on. So we provide the service for the studios. Why they need to cut us out? They probably will find the actors who will be cheaper than the actors who will come through the agency. We save them enormous amount of time, from 2 to 8 months to casting. They can find actors in 48 hours. Why? You know, we're saving them money right here. So we're in the marketplace to bring the benefit. We're not to, you know, cut somebody out of the business.
Now, let's talk quickly about, you mentioned before Web 3.0, NFTs and so on. Is there any opportunity for your business to utilize that technology when dealing with this segment of the market?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, our biggest challenge is, you know, for 4 million actors in the world, you know, there's just not enough jobs. So it's been my constant pain how to help these guys to make money. So just we are testing now different hypotheses, and I'm thinking of letting the actors to combine them actually with writers, to start creating the small pieces and put them on in NFT marketplaces, so actually we can sell them. And these videos writers can use for their pitching needs to the producer. So the moment the script got sold to the studio, there is a, you know, a revenue right here, so which can be shared between this actor and the writer. So if something big happened from this project finally, then these people making even more money. So yeah, this is something that we're constantly thinking about, and about the Web 3.0. I really like what Arnie was saying yesterday from FJ Labs, that like the difference with Web 3.0 is really about the community and about the network effect. So we really invite our members to co-create our service together. So these acting challenges becomes like the place where they can hang out and they can actually create together, and they can meet each other, then they finally create the movies together and give jobs for each other. So that's actually our, you know, long-term strategy, to bring the people together to co-create and earn money together.
Okay, one last question here is, you know, does your scope touch Latin America?
Yeah, we're in 128 countries.
Okay.
Please come join.
And how, when you think about, you know, the supply side, the actors are global. The question is where you focus on demand, right? Do you focus just on the Hollywood demand, North American demand, or global demand?
So our core right now is the Hollywood studios who relocate in all over the Europe. So I would say our main market right now is United Kingdom, in Eastern Europe, which is Hungary, Croatia, Bulgaria, and Czech Republic, also South Africa. But obviously the opportunity is global. As I said, we did some marketing tests with, we have users from 124 countries, and you know, the sky is the limit. We will start from the English-speaking productions, but you know, it can be easily local productions everywhere.
Fantastic. Dasha, thank you very much for spending some
Thank
time
you.
and sharing some information about how easy and how hard and challenging it has been to build Castingform, and
Thank
good
you,
luck
Simon.
with the future.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.